Dog Nation, you know what time it is. We've all been waiting very, very patiently for this week, especially us. And we have got the most hate-filled, shit-talking episode that we've ever had prepared for tonight. I am so fired up right now that I can barely sit in this chair. So let's freaking go. It's time to freaking tee it up this weekend, baby. Let's go, Dogs.
10, 12, he's running over people. Oh, you hurt your walking. We just stepped on their face with a hobnail boot and broke their nose. We just crushed their face.
40, 30, they won't catch him. Go, Swift, into the end zone. Touchdown. The freshman just ran it back to Philadelphia. Throws near sideline, and it's intercepted. Intercepted. Keely Ringo at the 21. Off he goes. 40, 50, 45, 40, 35, 30, near sideline. Breaks the tackle. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Georgia.
I know I'm asking a lot, you guys, but hunker it down one more time.
Heck of an intro right there, Griff. He was
fired up.
absolutely bugging before the show, and I was like, you know what? I don't even know if I can match that energy, so just go ahead. But this is the Baxter Street Boys. I appreciate everybody coming out. Hopefully, I have some Tennessee fans straggling in here because, I mean, my God, they've been on everything we've posted this week. Even if it doesn't remotely relate to them, they've been flooding the comment section, which is fine and all, but we've got the bookmark saved. So it's going to be an absolute assault after Friday, Saturday. Just put it that way.
I mean, we are going to unleash hell on these folks.
No doubt. So Jake is coming. He said he's had a couple vodka waters in him, so I'm sure his energy will also be unmatched. But this show tonight is going to be all about this game. I mean, why talk about anything else? In all honesty, why?
Yeah.
No picks, no bullcrap intro. We're in. Before we do go, though, first off, I got to tell you about Turtle Box while you're all here. Look at this speaker, folks. It's the best in the game. That looks orange from this angle. It's not. It's red. I would die before I put an orange one. But it's completely waterproof. It looks beautiful. You can put it on your boat. You can put it at your tailgate. Whatever you got, throw a Turtle Box up there and use code BSB10 for all purchases and get 10% off. And listen, folks, it's a big one. It's a big one. The comment section's already buzzing. Let's see what we have to say. The committee could not have helped UGA out any more than putting Tennessee at 1 and us at 3. Agreed. I mean, it's about as disrespectful as it gets.
Clemson at 4 was somehow worse. I don't know how.
Well, what's confusing actually is Ohio State at 2. Like you use Tennessee's resume, which is fine. So match it. If that's the case, then whatever. I don't really
My
care.
favorite thing
I
about
really
the rankings is how much they contradict themselves the entire time. It's almost like I wish they would just come out and say, hey, our gut says this.
Yeah, no doubt.
Our gut says these 4 are the best. Because every time they try to make an argument for one, they're like contradicting the argument for ranking the other one behind them. It's just, I mean, the whole thing's a TV show. We get it. But go ahead.
Yeah, no doubt. And it's just like putting LSU at 10. I mean, it's all just for a spectacle. Just a top 10 matchup. LSU lost to Florida State and got roundhouse by Tennessee. They're not the 10th best team in the country. But, boy, we got a big one. Hopefully y'all watch Brooks' breakdowns all week.
Oh, they've been there.
Yeah, the numbers have been nice. We've seen everything. I've been talking to the guy who played Jalin Hyatt this week at scout team. So he's been trying to feed me some stuff. But
My dog.
yeah, it's going to be a good one though. Griff, you're going to be in the game, I assume.
I'm going to be in there, and I'll be the loudest person in that stadium. I challenge every single person to match my energy on Saturday. I want that place to be shaking.
How early are you going to get there?
I'm going to get there as soon as I can possibly get there. I will be there. I'll be there before the gates open. I want to sit as close to the field as I can.
Nice. I love it. I mean, you got to the Florida game 2 hours early.
Yeah, I did that. I just didn't have anything else.
Oh,
to do
he was elite with a capital E that day.
I loved it. I love it.
Hey, I know I wasn't here during the recap for Jacksonville. It's my second time there. First time really like immersing myself in the environment because I actually knew people. I wasn't a loner. Boy, that place sucks. Dude, that
awful.
drive sucks. That drive sucks. I ain't like if you told me I never had to go back, That'd be awesome. Shouts out to Kirby Smart for moving that sucker.
No doubt. It's. I think it's just a cool thing to do to act like it's some great place now. It's
we know what it is. It's middle-aged like people with a good bit of money that enjoy a beach trip in the middle of late October. That's what it is. That's all it is.
That's fair. Griff, you got any numbers for us?
Oh yeah, I got the numbers. Tennessee, we all know they rank number 1 in total offense, averaging 553 yards per game.
Gee.
But the thing is, Georgia, number 2, averaging 530 yards per game. So, there's not that much of a difference there. Tennessee averages 49.4 points per game. Georgia averaged 41.8. But Tennessee does rank 82nd in total defense, allowing 393.6 yards, where the Dawgs rank 4th, allowing 262.6 yards.
All right. I want to get this off my chest since Jake's here, and then I'll pass it off to you guys. This is the Homer-approved portion of our network. Let's add Jake in right quick. We'll go 4 wide right quick. I want to know this, because what you didn't add into those stats, Griff Dog, is the fact that Georgia is second in the country in yards per play. Some bitch, when they snap the ball, they get 6.8 yards per touch. Okay? Only behind Ohio State in that defensive a cakewalk that they have of a schedule. Okay?
Garbage.
Not Tennessee, not USC, not Texas, not Alabama, not Ole Miss, not all these schools that teams talk about having a great offense. And yet I see talking heads every freaking where I turn around that talking about, oh, Georgia's scared of a shootout. Bro, Georgia puts it down offensively as good as anybody the last 2 years. They just don't play at a rapid pace. You know why? Because they got a defensive coach that cares about possessions and protecting the football. Can y'all stop with this? Just because they don't throw it 50 times a game or run 75 snaps a game. They're putting up 538 a game and 40 a game. They're just not playing at a stupid-ass pace because they care about their defense. They care about bodies. They care about protection and longevity and safety because that's what their head coach is. Whew! I needed to get that off.
Yeah, hold on. Stay on for just a second. I like that.
Fuck, it's like, as a football person, like, even if you box score scout them, if you did the Colin Cowherd, Team X, Team Y, Team Z, and you put the yard, like all the little stupid ass box score scouts, if you did that, yards per play, points, time of possession, if you did them all and said, give me team A, B, or C, 99.9% of America would take team C, and then they'd uncover them like the fucking Scooby-Doo mask and pull it off, and it'd be Georgia.
Yep.
And people would be like, oh, damn, I didn't know that. But
it's crazy.
That's the way it is.
And here's one thing, too, that everybody talks about. Tennessee puts so much pressure on our defense, blah, blah, blah. They're going to be tired. They're going to be winded. What about the pressure they put on their own defense? to stand on the field for 40 minutes. What defensive recruit comes to their field and like, oh, man, this looks awesome. I can't wait to stand out there for 40 minutes this game.
Hey, they must be selling snaps out there. They're like, hey, we got 90 snaps a game defensively. Yeah. We got tons to spread. Everyone eats.
You'll have plenty of film.
I'm first of all, chat, good to see you guys as always. I am back. Number one, I'm ready to smack the shit out of these fucking Hicks, man. I swear to God. I'm logging onto the internet and I'm seeing people. Tennessee ain't been worth a damn in 10 years, so they kind of just forgot what football is. We got people that don't know what a cover 3 is.
Yeah,
talking about. They just don't know what they're talking about. That's what pisses me off more than anything. Is they're so confident and they don't have a clue what's going on. They don't understand the fundamentals of the game. That's really what just annoys the hell out of me. I want to beat them so bad. I want a repeat of Arkansas so badly. I want to embarrass them.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Brooks, you didn't see this, but we posted a TikTok, and we clipped it on Twitter, but it was just us talking about how impressive Kirby Smart's run in the regular season has been, just 20 games. Flooded the comment section. Well, I did Saturday. Well, I'm like, where did y'all come from?
Like, I don't know how they stumble upon that.
Here's the problem we're going to run into, though, is there's going to be a lot of Tennessee fans in Athens, but they only have enough money to get to Athens. Now they can't get back home. So they're going to be stuck there for like a couple weeks.
Do you think?
Never mind.
Y'all have a better hold on this than I do. Do you think it's going to be pretty orange? Like
there'll be a lot there, but they ain't going to take over or nothing. There will be a lot. Like I said, they will mortgage their children's future to be at this game. So like there will be a lot.
I will give
taking a second mortgage out on their trailer.
I will give Nealon that. Maybe it's because like you couldn't pay me to go to Knoxville, but I would imagine like when you go there, there's not a lot of burgundy when you go there. There's not a lot of red and black when you go there. People don't sell out their stadiums. They don't buy a corner. I've been to many a Georgia game where the corner is the opponents. You know what I'm saying? That corner, that northeast end zone tends to be the other color. I wonder what it looks like Saturday.
There will be.
There will be good amount of orange here and take shit over because that's not going to happen. And I promise. One of my dear friends is staying with us this weekend, and he's a Tennessee fan. Don't know why we allowed that, but it is happening. And I already told him, I said, bro, you start with that Rocky Top bullshit, I'm going to smack you upside the head. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, don't bring that in. That so
much.
Don't bring that energy in here, Bobby.
Nah.
Unbelievable. Brooks, before you leave, what? So
I think the chat will kill us if I leave, is what it looks like.
You're hanging in. All right, good.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
We keep hearing about Tennessee run defense. You know, the run defense is great. The run defense, this, that, and other. How much of that is because you don't have to run the ball against them?
No, dude, it's because they stack the shit out of the box. I just got done doing the film study bro. They play defense like they got 4 Darrelle Revises playing DB. It's insane. They play single high, cover one all day. And it's like, we know we got shitty DBs, but we're hoping that we get you on the ground before you complete a ball. Like, that's their whole objective. Like, to run the football against Tennessee, you have to be comfortable running against heavy boxes. And I don't know of a football team that's more comfortable running in +1 boxes, is what we call them, right? If you were to sit there and count a body for a body, we need a blocker for a blocker +1. +1 boxes. Georgia's more comfortable than probably any team in the SEC, not named Kentucky, but Kentucky, my God, are they anemic. When I watched that football team against Tennessee, that they tried to play the whole game in a phone booth. And
by the way,
Tennessee
Mizzou
was like,
was too this
watch
weekend.
this. We're just straight jab you to the nose. It was nuts.
People always try to muster up Kentucky like I'm supposed to be scared of that game when we go play there. I can't even manufacture an ounce of fear to play them. They suck.
Their offense is so bad. I said it on the show tonight. It was like they had a good OC last year. I liked Liam Cohen. But it's like they hired a guy that kind of knew what Liam did, that was like 75% as good or as competent, and then they lost like 7 starters. It's a bad football team.
This is a comment. I'm optimistic as hell. Can Ladd and Marcus Rosemary Jack Saint beat guys one-on-one on the outside? If I was Tennessee, I would play man too. They can beat Tennessee's guys.
Anybody can. Anybody can beat those guys.
I can
beat them. They suck.
They're not good.
Guys.
Here's
you talk about them stacking the box real quick before we get off this. You talk about them stacking the box. I want to see a lot. It's going to be a lot of it's going to be on Stetson too, hitting those timing routes, those extended runs on the outside. Kenny in the flat out there hitting them for 6-7 yards a chunk play every time, because our receivers like to block, our tight ends
big time Kenny day.
Getting them on the perimeter. That's what we're going to have to do.
Yeah.
No, I mean, guys, there were portions of that football game against Alabama where they could cover, though. Right, there was a stretch in the second quarter.
Can't catch.
There was. I'm just telling you, there was a stretch in the second quarter where Bryce Young had to hold the football forever and be really, really special, and there was a stretch in the fourth quarter where he had to do it just to get them like competent in the football game. So, like, y'all know the deal. I know I'm on the Homer Network right now, but y'all know the deal. It's not like y'all got the 2019 Alabama wide receiver core. That's not what this is, okay?
Right.
I guarantee you Brandon Turnage is walking into this game thinking Ladd McConkey ain't shit. I'm just telling you. That's what they've been telling him all game, and that's honestly what the national media kind of thinks, that Georgia can't win outside. So if they go prove that wrong Saturday, all my questions are answered. I don't think they have a true X guy.
Well, that's probably going to be your biggest issue, because I'm not feeling great. I don't know if he's going to play or not. I don't feel great about AD playing. But hey, you still got Darnell and you still got Brock, and you're going to have to use those guys in a way that you probably haven't had to so far.
I was about to say, you can lock up Ladd, you can lock up whoever else. You can't lock up 19. You can't lock up 19.
You can do your best.
Also, a huge game for Kenny out of the backfield. Like, Jahmyr Gibbs had like 4 or 5 receptions for 51 yards. I'm not saying Kenny McIntosh is Jahmyr Gibbs, but I am saying that if Kenny McIntosh and Mr. Banks meet out in open space, I like 6's odds.
No doubt.
We need to see what we saw in the first half of that Florida game. I want to see the line of scrimmage, and I want to see them get pushed back 3 to 4 yards every single play, just getting absolutely sent back to their trailers. I guess if that's what you want to call it. That's what it's going to have to be. They're going to have to win up front, and that's the most important thing.
I want to tell this guy to pour the bourbon. Just do it.
I had 3 vodka waters at dinner, man. I'm liable to say whatever.
Pour the dang bourbon.
Got a little upper lippy pilly going. Yeah.
Nice. A little. You're feeling zen.
That's in, Bennett.
And Brooks, you've talked about this at length. It's pretty obvious at this point. You got to stop the run with 5 if you're Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
You stop the run with 5, and life is so much easier. Without Nolan Smith, can we do it?
Or 6 if they add the H back in, which they tend to do pretty often. It's got to be a collective effort. I mean, it's really gap integrity. Here's the biggest thing, and I've said this multiple times. I feel like a revolving CD at this point. Remember CDs, guys? Y'all probably don't. I feel like a CD on repeat at this point after all the appearances this week. But man, like, it's more losing Nolan for me was more important for this football game about alignment and assignment. Like, dude is so smart. He'd been in the defense so long. They play so fast. It's going to be so loud that having 4 on the field was like another coach. Like, we don't have to signal in everything because he's on the same wavelength. He kind of knows the package ain't that big when you play teams like this, believe it or not. The defensive package is not going to be that big. They're going to have 6 or 7 stunts. They're going to have 6 or 7 coverages. They're going to have 4 to 8 packages. Like, that's it. Okay, so it's not huge. And when you have a 3-year starter, a 3-year contributor like Nolan on the field, it helps a ton. The good news for Bobby Beal, is that dude is I think he is an above average run defender.
Yeah.
And that's what you needed. Like, you still need an above average run defender. I think, honestly, if I were to take 1,000 reps of Bobby on first down against the run and 1,000 reps of Nolan on first down against the run, I'd probably take Bobby's reps. But the second and long, third and long situations where you need some twitch and some versatility with some coverage ability, that scares me as well. The other thing is you can't drop Robert Beal. There's no way. You can't drop that guy into coverage. You can't drop Chaz Chambliss into coverage. So you're going to get really, really predictable as in terms of when you're dropping rush defenders. If that makes sense.
You made a good point too that I love this week on Twitter, Brooks. You said Tennessee doesn't sub. They go fast. It's not going to be no Jalin Carter on third down. He's going to have to be in there every snap.
You can't.
You get the point.
Dude, 3 or 4 of Alabama's 18-27 penalties, however the hell many was.
Illegal substitution.
Yeah, too many men on the field. Because for some reason, and he's the greatest coach of all time, they hire the GOATs, right? They have the highest, one of the highest paid defense coordinator, Pete Golden. He's a smart dude. I watched that dude run guys clear across the field thinking he's going to sub against this football team. I watched Georgia do it last year. I watched Georgia, what's his name? Darren Kendrick throw a guy out of bounds, and they sub clear across the field and get caught with 13 on the field. It's worse that you get a penalty. The worst case scenario is they take a free shot on your ass and hit you with a 50-yard bomb. All because of what? All because you wanted to get a better advantage? Nah, dude. You have to 2-platoon these football teams as much as you can with the front 4, okay? The 4 that are on the field, you die until the battle is over. You fight. You come get breathers. We sub you out when the battle is over. We keep going on with the war. That's the only way to fight these guys. That's it. You're going to end up getting caught.
Those are my biggest keys to this game. There's 2, besides stopping the run with 5. That's the first one. My next 2. Number 1, you got to control time of possession. We've seen Tennessee do it. That's how Alabama got back in that game. Tennessee had a couple 3-and-outs in a row. They wear their own defense out.
Death march.
We've seen it. And you got to control the clock.
I have to see a death march on Saturday.
And you cannot. And I swear to you, as I live and die, if they have 3 turnovers in a quarter again, we ain't winning this game.
No,
you can't turn the ball over.
With no takeaways. Let me clarify. With no takeaways, but yeah.
I think an underrated hole that we can which there's always a hole when this guy lines up in front of you. But 88 can really take advantage of their interior. And if you can, I think you tweeted about this, Brooks, but you go back to even last year when he threw that pick to Kendrick. If he gets some guys in his face, it tends to sail a little bit. It's like it stands him up. It
doesn't even need to get to him. It just needs to make him feel like he can't get all the way through his base. Cole, you know this. mechanically speaking, there are guys who are very loose with their lower half and are very athletic with their lower half. And then there are almost like baseball throwers. Most of the big ones are baseball throwers. Their lower half is nice and solid. It's got to be consistent. It's how they have such high inaccuracies or accuracy rates, right? Hendon Hooker is one of these people. He is a guy that is going to hit 100% of the balls he throws when his feet match his eyes. But the moment you make him double clutch via changing coverage, making him think he saw one thing and he gets something else post snap, his eyes don't match his feet when he processes his reads. He becomes inaccurate at that point. Or when you push his shit in, when you get in on him and he feels like he can't play with his base, he feels like his butt's going out, right? You see that in football players before. That's when he starts to sail stuff. That's when interceptions start to be created. Other than that, he normally plays flawless. They play so fast, though, it's hard to get pressure on the guy.
And here's the question that I've been wanting to know. And this they're not going to like this one. And I don't really mean it as disrespectful. Is Jalin Hyatt a first-round receiver, or is he just always open? There's some bummers out there that he's a system player.
So, I mean, the speed sells, bro. The speed will get paid. I know you might be making a joke here. He is a system.
I'm kind of serious.
He is a system player. He is a system player in the sense that Cedric Tillman was eating in that shit last year too, right. And he wasn't getting NFL grades. You know what I'm saying? If he was getting NFL grades last year, he would have went. Yeah. Honestly, you could probably say it was probably a bad decision for him to even come back because he's missed a half of the season. So I think every single Z receiver / X receiver that has like top end juice in that system is going to eat. Like, I mean, absolutely eat. I can't remember the other guy they had at UCF a couple years ago. Y'all are going to be impressed. Laviska Shenault. Do you remember the name?
Oh, yeah.
I thought he was in Colorado.
No, Colorado, yeah.
Oh, shit. My colors are blending. Damn.
Yeah, I was about to say.
You had the colors right.
Uniform.
Same guy, same concept. They had another third-round receiver, big, tall, fast, like can go.
Oh,
they're so linear that there's no route tree there, so it's hard to be a first-round draft pick.
Laviska Shenault randomly on the Panthers now, which makes no sense.
He's on the Panthers?
Yeah, he ran a
drafted by the Jacksonville Jaguars, right?
Yeah, I was going to say they take all their Jaguars castaways because they got C.J. Henderson too.
A sweep against us on Sunday. But
here's the thing. I saw a lot of busted covers that Anthony Richardson simply did not take advantage of against Florida, and we can't have that again. There were plenty of times that the one play that I think of in particular, I think it was a third down, maybe in the second quarter, and Purcell, the white kid they got from Arizona State, he had left Keeley behind. He had 7 yards on him, and Richardson I think was just so pressured I don't think he could make the throw. And, Malachi had a couple of freshman moments. That's going to happen. He's a kid. He was playing high school ball this time last year. But, yeah, no, the secondary is going to have to throw in they're going to have to pitch in your perfect game in this one.
Okay, I raised you this question, though, Jake, because – and I think me and Griffin hit on this the other day. And, Brooks, you can answer this too. How different was the defense in that game, though, compared to the defense we're going to play against Tennessee to really limit big plays compared to the Florida defense where we were probably selling out to the run a little bit too?
Yeah.
Is that fair?
I definitely agree with that.
I feel like it's tough to compare those two games.
Yeah, in terms of defensive performances?
No, just in terms of like there were some busted coverage against Florida, but I feel like when we're hunting the run game so much, that's possible. More possible than it will be on Saturday to just completely bust.
For sure. I mean, Saturday's busts are going to be more of a safety bit down on the run, 2 steps. Yeah. Corner didn't get the call in off the sideline. Things were happening too fast. I feel like Saturday before's busts were more like Florida's a big pre-snap motion football team. I feel like there was a bust in the red zone at one point where Keeley got clipped by Smile Mondon going across in motion. Like these kind of bump and run bust where, guys are twisting, motion creates rubs and stuff like that. Stuff doesn't happen against Tennessee. A big pace and space football team. Things are happening like outside the numbers, hash, inside the box. That's it. Bust out here or get beat guys in here or tackle them and get them on the ground. That's it.
Let's spice this up right here. I got a take coming.
Ooh.
Here's the thing, folks. This is Tennessee's last shot. They're like we said on Twitter, they're not 2019 LSU. They're 2014 Mississippi State. This team this is their last shot. They're a flash in the pan. They don't recruit well enough to sustain this. The transfer portal does not provide at just an unbelievable rate. Like, ask Mel Tucker. You can't just build off the transfer portal year in, year out. At some point, you have to recruit and build a program. Hooker, gone. Tillman, gone. Hyatt, gone. They're all gone next year. This is their last shot. We put our foot on their throat today and end them. We'll never have to hear from these rednecks again for the next, They'll probably go back in their hole for another 20 years. So
I hope so.
That's
I
what
want them
we're
to
after
stay
on
in that
Saturday.
dang hole. They're going to crawl back into it this Saturday for sure. I can't wait till Saturday night. I cannot wait.
They won't be able to leave Athens because they don't have the gas money to get home. So they just have it to get here. That's the problem. So be nice to them after the game. just let them, just kind of let them mosey around. Just understand that they're not as fortunate as some of us.
Well said. Hey, would it hurt your feelings if I told you I thought Nico is an absolute fucking dude?
Oh, no doubt.
The quarterback.
He is.
I mean, he's 8.5. He's worth every bit of.
I was about to say they gave him $8.5 million.
Yeah,
every freaking penny. Give it to him. That guy he's bona fide. He's one of them.
I've always said I thought he was better than Arch, personally.
We never did quarterback rankings. Like, I should have done them earlier but here's I was a lose-lose. I would have been the guy in the Georgia space that was hated because he ranked Arch Manning 6th, or the guy that's in the Georgia space that gets hated on for being a hater of Arch Manning because he ranks him 6th. Either Georgia fans are going to hate me or people are going to call me biased. But yeah, Nico would have been number one by not by a mile. It's a great class in 23. That's a freak, man. He is really, really, really good.
He can spin it. He can spin it.
He's really good.
The Oregon kid's really good too. What's his name? Kid committed to Oregon in that class?
Oh, yeah, from Michigan, Dante Moore.
Hey, Brooks, you didn't know this, but Griff is family friends with Jackson Arnold. They're like big time
Jackson Arnold.
friends.
That's my buddy.
Good, clean prospect.
Known him since he was just a little baby.
Good, clean one. Good, clean one. That's for sure.
So he was from here, Griff?
No, they lived in Atlanta. They lived in Gwinnett. His dad is from Ringgold and went to high school.
He got to be the first great football player ever to choosingly decide to leave Gwinnett County.
Yeah.
Well, they moved to Texas. I think it was like sense. In the 5th grade or something like that. His 5th grade. So it would have been about 7-8 years ago, something like that.
Yeah. When I keep watching these Tennessee games, I keep seeing teams put them in good positions, like on their plus side of the field. Did they just create havoc, Brooks, or is that just there was the one punt against, or the punt play with Alabama was the dumbest football play I think I've ever watched on live TV. They're about to blow the play dead, and this dude comes flying in and kicks it. I've never seen anything like that in my life. I feel like if we limit that, we're going to be in good shape. So
the only thing that I can, in terms of starting field position, the only thing that I can think of is midway through when opponents are down 3 quick scores. It can happen like that against Tennessee.
Yeah.
When you're down that quickly, that 4th possession down 3 scores, you feel like you got to go for it now, right? It feels
that's
like
what happened to LSU.
It feels like it's a must-score possession.
Yeah.
14 minutes into the football game, which feels ridiculous, but believe it or not, that's the case. And here's the other flip end of this: starts and how fast you start is really, really important with these spread offense, pace and space offenses. But the way Georgia has been able to stack 3 and outs against these football teams while simultaneously going on 6.5, 7-minute scoring drives, bro, that is the anaconda of anacondas against these football teams.
Yep.
You are going to murder them if you can 3 and out, 6-minute scoring drive, which is not out of the ordinary for Georgia. 3 and out, 6-minute scoring drive. Next thing you know, Tennessee has now become forced into becoming one-dimensional. They're down 2 scores, and it's the 2nd quarter, and they've only had 2
got hands on the hips.
If that happens early, it's going to be a long day.
Here's the beauty of kind of the way Georgia is formatted and the way all great football, championship-winning football teams. I'm not saying Tennessee is a gimmick football team, but they don't have a championship-winning defense. We all know this. They are an offensive-based organization. We know this. The thing is, these 2 3 and outs combined with 6-minute death marches, that shit could happen at any portion of the game, and it completely flips the script. Yeah. It doesn't matter. A couple years ago, last year, Tennessee is bro, that first 16 minutes, 15 minutes of that football game, they're punching. They're going at it with the national champs. They're like rope-a-doping with everybody. They're going after it, hitting explosives, doing it all. And then all of a sudden, turnover, 3 and out, 6.5 minute drive, 7-minute drive. James Cook, Tutty, see ya. Appreciate you for coming. It happens that quick against these teams that play this fast. The death march combined with the 3 and out. Look for it Saturday. The moment it happens, fucking hammer whatever money line you got. Go on with it.
Now here's go ahead, Cole.
I should have. She's right. The person who came with the death march phrase should have had a trademark. Yeah.
Hey, can we give a golf clap? I don't know. I think this is the highest rating for the chat, for the group.
No, yeah, hey, this is a lot. Yeah. We got the boys are buzzing in here.
The boys.
It's a big one.
Here's what's really getting under my skin is the Sanford Stadium disrespect.
Oh,
we got Eric Ainge running his mouth. That man got cut off the Jets when the Jets couldn't buy a win.
We're getting to a point where Eric Ainge makes people ask who, aren't we?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, bro, you're like Casey Clausen and all those other forgotten bums. Tyler Bray, y'all working on the same team. Man, I don't give a damn about
Tyler Bray.
You want to know something funny? Speaking of that, sorry, Jake. There's 2 guys in my gym today arguing who was better, John Parker Wilson or Jake Barnett, whatever his name was. I was like, is this seriously the best use of our time? What? What?
Hey, what y'all like better, Long John Silver's or Popeyes?
Yeah, for real. Like, what?
You gotta go deeper than Popeyes. You gotta go like Arby's.
I was off the rip. Hey, I'm a fan of Arby's. I mean, come on.
Kirby knows what he's doing Saturday while those recruits there. That place is going to be louder than Arkansas. That was a noon game.
Yeah, it's going to be nuts.
And I'll tell you right now, the Sanford Stadium disrespect has gotten out of control. That place, we saw the clip. It was louder than Penn State during the whiteout during the Arkansas game. I remember that game. Arkansas had 3 false starts on the first drive, and that's what I want. I want to force those false starts. I want to get those boys uncomfortable. That is the number one goal. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be loud. I'm not going to have a voice. I didn't have a voice after Auburn, and I mean, we crushed them. So I'm going to be there. I'm going to be loud.
I've seen a lot of Tennessee fans just being like, well, our offense just goes so fast that the noise doesn't affect us.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
You guys haven't played in any of these environments. You played 6 of your 8 games at home.
Here's what it does. Here's what it does. Your crowd noise will completely remove the check with me. Okay? The ability to walk to the line the one time they need to find out what the defense is doing on 3rd and 8. The one time they need to rush to the line and go down, say, hut. And they don't even say down, say, hut. They just walk to the line. We don't have the other camera. And just walk to the line and that's it. And then they look to the sideline. That shit is dead. That shit is dead. They cannot relay an entire new play. It will not happen. It cannot happen. The only team that is ever the only teams that are ever going to come into these environments that are allowed to play at the line of scrimmage with a variety of plays without having a threat of false starts are teams that call 2 in the huddle, which is one of yours. Your team is very capable of calling 2 in the huddle, where they walk down to the line of scrimmage. They say down to hut. They don't like the first look. Blue 18. We're flipping the play. Let's go. Everybody else is totally different.
Yeah, I'm ready. If this, I don't gatekeep whatever people do at games. I think that's corny. But if this is one of those games where you want to show up and take pictures and sit down the whole time, sell your ticket. You can get a lot of money for it. Sell your ticket to somebody else.
Yeah. Stand up, scream as loud as you can. Have fun with it, guys. It's fun to get excited at these games, especially in this environment. This is going to be the most exciting Sanford Stadium environment possibly of all time.
Not the one you want to take a date to. Don't do that.
No.
Not a first date, not a second date. If you take a girlfriend, do not take a date. Make an ass out of yourself, okay? Go out there with a purpose.
No doubt.
To FSU. You know what I mean?
Hang on. I want to pull up this comment. Vol's going to napalm that dump. That's funny because y'all can't even afford a box of matches. I mean, what are we talking about here, man?
How are you going to napalm?
What are we talking about? What are we talking about here?
Bro,
there's no way he called Sanford Stadium a dump and he spent his whole time in Neyland. That place, it's just big and loud. That place is
built over a morgue.
I can jump in a trash can and scream and it'd be loud.
No other fan bases go there because it's the worst stadium in America. It's literally straight up. You fall off a cliff if you take a step forward.
It might fall back.
Two options.
The next few years.
2 options for what super drag the name means. Super drag on a Marlboro Light or dirt track racing. One or the other. Only
Yeah.
option for a Tennessee fan.
Both
Code
of
name
them
Super
are.
Drag
Drag
US
queen.
USA 1.
They're
Drag
going to
queen.
drag their
drag
sorry
queen
asses
as well.
home after that game on Saturday. I can tell you that much. You'll be dragging home a whooped ass.
They won't be able to drive it off.
Boy gonna be sitting in traffic, pissed.
Lord have mercy.
That's what I'm saying. I'm one of the things that really actually it's not between the trailer parks. It's between the Knights' campus. You know, I know a lot of Tennessee fans didn't go there. I know y'all don't really understand how campuses work and stuff like that. ITT Tech, that's all online. Anyways,
That's generous too, Jake.
Yeah, that's
The
really
fact-
generous.
yeah, the fact that one of the biggest things to me is Vegas just refuses to move this line to a touchdown, and
That's huge.
we saw them lose their ass on Tennessee.
Explain
once.
this to me like I'm a dummy because I don't get this. I've seen multiple people talk about this. What does this mean?
So, okay, normally, Tennessee has almost all the bets, all the money. Like people are throwing money at Tennessee. So typically, when that happens, all the sharp money's on Georgia. They're going to move the line down because they want a couple more people to buy in on Tennessee, which means they think that they're going to win this game. The fact that they're keeping this line at Georgia 8.5, line movement is the biggest indicator of how a game's going to go. Typically, I mean, you still got to play the game. That's just how it goes. But I mean, even this weekend, I think Oklahoma State opened at a 3-point favorite over Kansas, and now it's a pick 'em, and that tells you should probably lean towards Kansas. But the line just hasn't moved, and I'm amazed that it hasn't because I thought by now it would at least be Georgia 6.5, and that's where I was going to put the bank on.
It's very similar to the Arkansas game last year where the line came out at 17 and the public was just like, oh, 17 points because Arkansas was riding high. And so everybody hammered them and the line never went down because, like, if you're flooding in one bet, Vegas is like, okay, maybe we overshot it. So they go down a little bit, try to even up the number. They try to even up the money. And
So
the best case scenario for Vegas is the money is about even. So
you're telling me that the fact that the line never moved means Vegas thinks Tennessee is going to win this football game?
No,
it means they think they're
way.
going to lose it by more than 8 points.
The other way.
They want
That's
people
all I
to
need to
keep
know.
taking Tennessee.
Guys, y'all got to understand, okay? A lot of people that listen to gamble coverage, we're stupid. We don't get it. Like y'all went through 90 seconds right there, still lost me. And I think I'm a relatively smart person.
Here, I got a good example here. Say you open up a cupcake stand and you charge 25 cents for them.
Now
They're just flying off the table, and you're like, oh crap, maybe I should charge 50 for this. So you bump it up to 50, and it slows back down. You get your gathering back. People are still buying it, but you're good. That's what Vegas has done with this. They set it at -8, and people are just all over +8. Tennessee +8. Give me points. Give me points. Give me points. But they got so many workers, and they know they got plenty of cupcakes in the back, so they're going to keep it there. They're going to keep shelling it out.
Vegas is trying to tell you.
And I don't want to chalk this game up to Vegas knows because I think the Dawgs are just a better football team and they're going to come out and show it on Saturday. But all the signs point to that. Every single sign points to that. It's all falling into place perfectly.
It's like when you start a premium subscription model that's just absolutely friggin' elite and it only costs $10 a month and people are just flooding it over on patreon.com/Brooks Austin. And like sometimes you think you want to raise the line. You want to like move it, but you're like, nah, we're going to trust the system. We're just going to ride it out right here. I got you.
This Tennessee fan keeps asking why I'm touching my chain. Oh, I thought you said chin. I was going to say I actually got a chin and like a coach.
Is that even a comment such?
We need more of them in here, man. I wanted so many of them in here.
They won't.
Yeah,
when push comes to shove, they're nowhere to be found. They like to tie.
By the way,
what they do.
Hey, I will tell you this.
The book bets on Instagram. Our guy Biggie, he's in the chat. He says they'll pick a couple game each year and load up on them. They already lost their ass on Tennessee once with Alabama.
They lost back,
that was
and
one
they
that I
lost
thought.
on LSU
You know
too.
what?
Yeah.
You know what, boys? Yeah. I started to look at that, and they didn't. It was a little bit reverse of what it is now. Like right now, they have like 80% of the bets and 94% of the actual money. It was flipped the other time. They had 94% of the bets, about 70-something% of the actual money, and by game time, it was pretty close. This one is so far out of the realm that it's like, okay.
I want you guys' answer on this. When you guys see, like, I check Vegas Insider for article purposes every week. When you guys see some dumbass got this game at 56 on the total team over and under, do you not just want to pick up and move to Vegas immediately? Or how does that work? Because that line automatically progressed to 66 by like night's end.
Yeah. See, that's
an
an example.
That's an example of a line
when they see it going up.
Yeah. I mean, by the end of the day. So what I'm saying is like the dude that got that stock early at 55 points. Imagine if you could do that all the time. Like you just have to be a fiend living in Vegas. But
so important.
Hey, if Cook the
Sunday's
Books wasn't a TikTok viral sensation, he might need to fix that out. Like that's like Wall Street for modern terms.
A lot of the opening lines too are not bettable. Like UGA minus 12.5. I'm not sure that was ever
couldn't even touch
anywhere,
it. They just opened it there.
Auburn, they do a lot of these lines preseason. Auburn opened as a favorite over LSU this year, but that was never. You could never touch that. Hey, throw my guy Eli in the chat up here real quick. I want to say something to him.
Oh, here we go.
Hey, Eli, no. I'm actually not going to cook this guy. I do appreciate the Tennessee fans here. It makes it a lot more fun. I still don't like you whatsoever, but I do appreciate y'all being in here, and I think it makes everything a lot more fun when we can have a little back and forth. It's fun. It's fun when your rivals are good. Because Georgia Tech, I mean, we just slap them around every year. I mean, we beat them 50-something out of them.
Florida's 3 years away.
I mean, we've slapped Tennessee around for most of my lifetime too. So
But hey, you know what?
I
did say this too. Win, lose, whatever happens, you can't match this type of atmosphere. You can't match this type of energy in the city. And going to the game Saturday, it's just going to be an experience. I'm very excited overall. Just it's not every weekend number one comes to town, so I think it'll be fun.
Number one. I mean,
never met a Tennessee fan in person, but as someone who does all these film studies and whatnot, particularly on opposing fan bases, they always show up every time. Because I mean, believe it or not, YouTube's the second biggest search engine in the world. It's Google and then it's YouTube. So fans are constantly looking for content, and they ultimately trickle down into our stuff when we do cross-platform stuff like this.
Well,
so I get a good gauge of what everyone is like on the internet.
Well, Brooks, when they're drawing their unemployment check at home, all they have to do is just search all day. That's all they have time for. I mean,
I was about to say they're relatively nice people. Like
no,
they are not. Brooks, you don't know. You don't know.
Our neck of the woods. So any Tennessee fans in here that don't know, the three of us, we are from the top corner of Northwest Georgia. Like, it's pretty much even split between Georgia and Tennessee where we're from. So we deal with these people all the time. So we people from South Georgia hate Florida because they're around them all the time. And we're around Tennessee fans. And so we're kind of different in the sense that we hate Tennessee way more than Florida. I mean, I still hate Florida. Let's not get that twisted.
Yeah.
But that's kind of our personal experience. And that's probably why it's a little more intense on this show than maybe in some other ones.
This is the best example. Like, I haven't talked to this kid since we graduated high school. Like, dead serious.
And he was chirping you today.
Not today. This was when they beat Alabama. He messaged me and he said, "Keep betting against Tennessee, brother. I love it." And I said, "What are you talking about?"
Also, why you creep following me, bro?
He said, "It's all that podcast. You just make a joke of us." I was like, "Y'all are a joke.
Watcher. You got a hate watcher.
You listen to our podcast just so you can get mad.
I love a hate watcher, dude. There's nothing better. Nothing better.
I have plenty of those. It happens.
I mean, text me all.
Shout out to the Stimmy.
Thousands of haters. Stimmy.
Yeah. Owen. Chattanooga's about where we're at. That's we're like Ringgold, Dalton, East Ridge, that area.
Yeah, I went to college in Rome, and they would constantly be selling Tennessee stuff at the Walmart, not at the local Dick's, only at the Walmart.
Yeah, that makes sense. That checks out.
Oh man,
not many Tennessee fans can walk in Dick's without they getting kicked out.
Yeah,
it's like if one of us walk in like I don't know, like a Ferrari place, and it's like they look at us and wearing like athletic shorts. They're like, I don't know.
I want to put this one on the board right quick and address this because it's been asked a bunch. You guys, and he may walk out there and try something. I don't know. But you guys are fans of one of the best covered beats in all of America. If A.D. Mitchell was going to walk out there and be the true version of A.D. Mitchell, you would have heard some type of positive news by now. Okay? If A.D. Mitchell comes out Saturday, it's like Terrell Owens in the Super Bowl back in the Eagles. Like he comes out and it's like, damn, T.O.'s out here today. He's out here doing it. Like if A.D. Mitchell comes out, it's because adrenaline took over and all that. Not because he's been out here balling out there in practice all week. Because I promise you, again, you are a fan of the best beat in the world, okay, when it comes to knowledge. There ain't shit that goes on, despite how much he tries. There ain't nothing that goes on there from a positive standpoint that does not get out, okay? And that has not come out yet. So he may or may not play. I'm just telling you, it's not going to be A.D. Mitchell from Oregon.
Now, Levi, I need you to understand that this man, you call him your buddy. that ain't your buddy. That is a traitor.
Yeah. For those listening on podcast, Levi says his buddy got 2 tickets at face value for $75 from a booster he knows, and he's taking his girlfriend instead of him.
Bro, he doesn't like you.
Y'all are not friends.
What? This actually brings up a good point. So at the end of the show, we're picking someone. You're not winning these tickets, but you are. Somebody DM'd us and they have 2 tickets, lower section, like lower, seat backs and all for $450 each, which is a steal right now. If you've seen the market,
Yeah.
And so we're going to give it away, or we're going to choose someone to buy. We're not giving them away, but there's a ton of people in the comments that want them, so we're going to choose at the end.
There's
But I offered my dad first, and he wanted them bad. And he's like, I want to go. So he's trying to find somebody to go with him, and he couldn't find it. My mom was sitting there. She's like, I guess I'll go if I have to, but blah. He's like, that's not the kind of people I want to hang out at the game.
How nice of her. I'll go if I have to.
He's like, no disrespect. That's just not the kind of people I want to be at the game with right now. So he had to pass because he couldn't find anybody else. But that's hilarious. You can't bring a girl. Like there's a group of guys you'd want to go to a game with. Like that's just how it is. You don't just go to ball games with anybody. Like it's with a select group of people. So you can't.
I'll tell you though, I can go to I swear I can go to a football game and be by myself. I really can. I have no problem with it.
I assume this guy's a Tennessee fan. I'll wear a Georgia shirt if I can.
He is, yeah.
I'm telling you, they find us, man. They find us,
brother. You seem like a perfectly nice guy. Like I said, you're from our neck of the woods, so we would take a little liking to you more than any other Tennessee fan. But to be honest, I don't trust that one bit.
If you get a chick out, I hope you stump your toe and can't walk in the game. No, you can live a great, glorious life and maybe get above 50,000 a year, but it's you.
Don't tell them to piss off, Cole.
Yeah, that's essentially what I'm saying.
It's we found a lot of Tennessee fans have found us on here. They found us on TikTok a lot earlier this week. I know we talked about that. I was hoping they'd see the clip I posted of Pig Howard fumbling that football into the end zone in 2013 because that's an all-timer meltdown from the Vols there. I rewatched that game this week to get myself hyped up. But
all right. I'm gonna address this real quick. Clickbait and
this is great, by the way. Yes.
Sanford needs to update the music playlist. Other than that, atmosphere is top notch and will absolutely be on fire Sunday.
When the music is good, man.
No, stop. Hold on.
I like the music.
I've had credentials to every single home game this year, and bro, I'm up in the fucking box bopping. So I don't know what y'all are hating on.
Listen, the music,
the in-house DJ at UGA is elite. Okay,
it's George Foster, right? He's got to play.
Sir Foster.
Not Sir Foster. Right?
It's Sir Foster, the GOAT.
Me personally, like, I'm not gonna say I'm like DJ on the ones and twos. I'm not DJ Pauly D. I'm just saying, like, I think I got a good taste of music, and that dude has me crumping in the box, and you're not supposed to do nothing. Like, you're supposed to sit there and eat your water boiled hot dog and sit in peace. Like, I'm good. I'm on, two-step come on, two-step by.
Here's the point I was going to make, though.
Gonna get some love. I mean, he plays some new music as well. I think he does a good job, personally.
The point I was going to make is the music should not affect the environment. Like, the game affects the environment. Just freaking be loud and not worry about the music.
Zombie Nation?
Don't worry about the freaking music and just be loud. And number two,
I'm just going to disagree. I like it. It gets my juices flowing a little bit, dude. If they play Nuck, if they play Nuck, if you buck, you better watch out.
Okay, here's the problem. I didn't know Sir Foster was the DJ. He was. We'd be down 7 runs in the 7th inning, and he'd start ripping some Guns N' Roses on his keyboard. I'm like, dude, we're down 6 runs. Like, we have a little bit of feel. Play something slower.
I mean, he was kind of a joke. Cole, you're down 6 runs. What's he supposed to do?
Just play something slow. The crowd's not into it. He would play the most high intense songs at the worst times, and Sir Foster was the kind of a joke, but he is good. He is actually good.
I like what Buddy said. Should we bring back Soulja Boy? I feel like this is the time.
I want it. I want that in Sanford.
I don't know if it was Kent State game, but they hit a Yule up in there. Yule.
No, they will on 3rd down. So
they hit it.
I love swag surfing anytime too.
What I really wanted Kirby to do,
you got to refer to it as that way. They hit a Yule.
What I really, really wanted Kirby to do this week was to step to the podium and then pull a Mark Rick and to say, we're going to black out the stadium this week. And then you wouldn't have to worry about any Tennessee fans coming in because everyone would be so pumped to see black jerseys for some reason that they would just flood the stands with all black.
So
Yeah.
my thing is, why can't he do something like just say we want to black out the stadium? Like, we're not going to black out the jerseys. We're just going to black out the stadium. Like, why is it doesn't like I don't know. I'm not a coach of 18-year-old players. You know what I'm saying? 18-year-old men, 19-year-old men. Like, a lot of these really high impact football players in his football team are 21 and under, 22 and under. Really, really impressionable individuals. But dude, I haven't played in situations like this, Cole. I'm sure you have, like big, high environments, high intensity environments. What color jersey I have on, other than maybe giving me an additional energy like boost, okay, pregame, and maybe that's what he's afraid of. Maybe he's worried his guys are going to get too gassed out during pregame, or too gassed out during first quarters, or whatever that initial rush is. Maybe he's got some fucking scientist somewhere that he paid $300,000 in a retainer every year to tell him that this is what science says about the brain dopamines when you wear alternative jerseys. I don't know. They came out flat as fuck against Arkansas a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Flat
Mississippi State wasn't a great game.
Flat as shit. But it was also because of Dwan Mathis. They only gave him 6 series and he looked like a deer in headlights. So,
hey, buddy, pull up Buddy's comment there about Sanford. I want to bring this up. He said, "Has Sanford ever been rushed?" Guys, I'm begging y'all, please do not rush the field. Please.
Yeah, no, don't do that.
Favorites. We are 9-point favorites. Please don't do that.
We ain't Tennessee.
Don't be Clemson.
We will not rush the field.
We're not Tennessee. We're not Clemson.
No, time out. Clemson, Tennessee ain't done shit in 2 decades. They deserve to storm the field and they beat Alabama.
Nah.
Yes, they did, Griff.
I'll give them that.
They deserve to rip them damn goalposts up out the field, throw them in the river. All right, Clemson, when you're 14-point favorites to Syracuse, a team that you should beat the ever-loving piss out of.
They do that every game.
The week before, they like 2 weeks before they stormed it. Like, get out of here, Clemson.
Yeah, people keep acting like saying they do it every game was like helping their cause. That's even worse.
It's still
that makes it worse, actually.
But yes, no, please do not rush it, because if somebody rushes the field, I'm going to do it. Obviously.
Yeah, I mean, if people do it, I'm going to join in. But I
heard
don't.
Jeff Centel got them paused, so watch out for him.
Just watch out for Jermaine Burton. He might be nervous, so just watch out. You might catch a hook. All right, here we go. Predictions for the game, boys. Predictions for the game.
So what are we doing? One bold offense, one bold defense,
and then score.
All right.
Okay.
What was that?
We'll go around.
We'll start on offense.
Yeah.
Griff, kick us off.
Brooks, you're a company man, a media member, so I know you don't like to do predictions, but if you want to do a prediction,
I do predictions every week. I have to. It's one of our most highly read segments.
I read it, actually.
My offensive prediction. You know the guy I'm going with here.
Yeah, that's why I'll let you go first.
That's my dog, Stetson Bennett. He's going to have a big day. People have been talking on his name lately. They've been talking on him. He's still second in the SEC in passing yards. He's got more passing yards than Hendon Hooker. All right. So let's slow down. Let's slow down. I know Carson Beck looked good against Vanderbilt. I know we want to see him. But we got a guy at quarterback. We got a guy.
Hey, what's the prediction, Griff?
All right, yeah. He's throwing 5 touchdowns.
We're going back to the well. We're going back to the well.
The boy got 9 tutties on the year. Griffey boy said he's going to throw 5 this weekend.
Hey.
5.
Whew. All right, I'll go next.
I'm going to go. Yeah,
no,
go ahead.
Just ding, 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 ding. You know what I mean?
Go for it.
I'm going Kenny McIntosh. Look, the way this team turns back end counter, I know we're going super high end, but that's how you kind of predict breakout players here. You got to grind that tape a little bit. 9 times out of 10, it doesn't work for me. It's all random. But if you are going to grind the tape, Tennessee's willingness to turn counter out and like make teams log it and bounce it, that favors Kenny McIntosh's football game and how he tends to run. Think about all of the great Kenny McIntosh runs. They're very akin to DeAndre Swift. Bounce outside right around the tackle, stiff arm the linebacker, and then gas it past the safety down the sideline. You're going to see one of those Saturday from Kenny McIntosh. I think it's a big day for 6.
Like it, Kenny.
I got you.
Hype train.
Owen's giving us the he said he's got 50 if Stetson throws 5 touchdowns. Griff, you can have it, man. That's all you.
Bet. I ain't even got to put up anything.
Owen's a Tennessee fan, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't have $50. Don't even.
Hey, you know what? Owen's kind of growing on me. You leave that guy alone. Actually, no, never mind.
Hey,
he can be cool with it. He can be cool with us.
Bro, that was a death shot.
Here's mine. Georgia. I said it the week before. We were on pace for it. I said we were going to run for 300 on Florida. And at the beginning of the game, I kind of thought we were headed that way. And then, the turnovers happened and things like that.
Don't do
Georgia runs for 250 yards, holds the ball for 38 minutes of the game, completely controls the clock, completely controls the run game, pushes around line of scrimmage. Georgia 38, Tennessee 20.
Bro, I'm going to tell you right now, if that happens, if they rush for 250 and hold it for 38 minutes, they beat them some bitches by 35. They run it up on them if that happens.
I think they can get a couple shots. I think they'll get a shot or two, maybe a turnover, something like that. But hey, we ran for 290 on Auburn.
We got the best adult dating side.
We got porn bots in the comments.
Yeah,
that's how you know we made it.
Guys, if you didn't notice, I was immediately taking it too. Y'all didn't have to do it. Just keep going. This is called big stream problems. That's what that's called.
Oh God!
I think Georgia controls the clock. I think they control the run game, and I think that's the key to the game. And if they're going to win, that's probably what's going to happen.
Look at this loser's name. Sorry, Jay. This is just unbelievable. Big Orange Typhoon 22 with a Tennessee profile pic. He is ugly as sin, bro. If that is your profile pic, the Howard T, you got hit by a stick.
Hey, we need him in here. We want the folks in here talking themselves up. We need Tennessee to hype themselves up. I need the people in here feeling themselves because that's going to make it all better.
Kentucky said the same thing.
You're comparing us to Kentucky?
Kentucky has fans? What?
Look, guys, I know y'all are competitive with them, but we're not. We don't think about Kentucky.
Oh, Cole, what's your prediction?
Okay, my prediction. We're going back to the well. It's gonna happen. It's not gonna be as cool when it happens now. I thought he was getting in the end zone the other day.
Darnell. I knew you were going with Darnell.
A big touchdown. Touchdown. He's gonna moss that garbage can Banks in the end zone.
I like it. I love Darnell.
I'll go straight to defense. I think. Listen, you think back to some games. You think back to like Aiden Hutchinson against Ohio State where he just popped off. You think back to Jadeveon Clowney against Michigan where he just took over. Like they made names for themselves. The Donovan Sue against pretty much everybody they played that year. Jalen Carter is going to solidify his spot as a top 5 pick on Saturday. He's going to absolutely wreak havoc. He's going to have like 2 or 3 havoc plays, whatever that may be. Forced fumble, a sack, whatever it is. He's going to go off.
Can I go next because I don't want to get stolen?
Go for it.
Go ahead.
All right. Y'all know who number 2 from Alabama is, right?
DeMarco Hellams.
Hellams.
Yeah.
Boy was barbecue chicken on the block for 4 quarters.
Yeah, that was tough.
He was a classic Porky bucket.
Do you know what he also is known as? He's known as the boundary safety, right? The safety that plays the boundary. What does Tennessee do a lot? They bunch into the boundary. They stack into the boundary. The whole purpose of doing this is to force a one-on-one with a safety going against somebody who is running at them, vertically at them. That's why Hyatt is running past these dudes.
Right.
He's got safety standing flat-footed, and he's running right by him. Guys, who's the best cover safety in all of college football?
Chris Smith.
Wrong. Malachi Starks. Chris Smith is the best run support safety in all of college football. I believe
I was literally going to say any of them. I almost said Bullard. Bullard's my pick. Bullard pick.
Here's the deal. Play Malachi Starks into the boundary all night long. Make them try to run Devin Hyatt or Jalin Hyatt by Malachi Starks. Watch that son of a bitch turn, find the football, and pick it off. Watch it. Because I'm telling you right now, they have not played a cover safety like Malachi Starks. Because you know why? There ain't one in college football, folks. No. He is not ready to come down and strike in the box. He's not ready. He's a true freshman.
The superstar.
But guess what? Pound for pound, athlete for athlete, there is nobody at the safety position in college football that can turn and run like this dude. Put that guy into the boundary all night long and shut that crap down. It's your only chance. Other than that, I do think they can run by Chris Smith. I do think they can run by Kamar Lassiter. I do think they can run by Keely Ringo. They can't run by 24. No. Exploit that.
No, I agree. And what's funny is a couple weeks ago, or whenever Dan Jackson got it pretty much came out he was out for the year, and Tennessee fans are like, oh, Georgia just lost the safety, and they're salivating, acting like, and then they start playing the old sacrilegious bull crap. Oh, we want y'all's best. We want y'all's best. That's what I said it on Twitter. I said, yeah, just wait till a guy with the number 24 picks you off a couple times. You really don't want our best. That's a lie. That is a bold-faced lie. One more thing before you go, Griff. Big Orange Typhoon says he's turning 50. I can't think of anything I possibly could care less about. So appreciate it, Big.
I was gonna say, yeah, Big Orange Typhoon has been in the chat. I mean, he's probably been in here for about 10 minutes. It feels like, maybe less than that. And he's thrown more things out there than anyone else in the entire time. Just because we wanted you in here doesn't mean that we wanted you to say something every 5 seconds. My defensive prediction: I love Malachi Starks. I love all our DBs. I love Javon Bullard. I love Kelly Ringo. I love Kamari Laster. But I have a special love for Chris Smith. And I think he steps up in a big way. And he's going to have a pick six, a Clemson-esque pick six from last year. We need it. I want it bad.
Every big game he's shown up.
Javon Bullard interception to seal the game. That's the dagger. By the way, James, I see your comment. You said, I tuned in just to listen to 4 drunk guys. Did you just say Tennessee is only going to score 20? You've lost your mind. I got that one clipped, buddy. Don't worry. You might see that one again.
I didn't give a score prediction. Are we rounding that back out?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah,
I'm just waiting on one Tennessee fan to have a freaking profile pic. I guess Owen half of his face.
Dude, you're 50. Go to bed.
That boy Jason, let him have it. We told y'all this would be a war over here. I mean, gosh,
this is why we like competition. This is why we like competition, though. It's fun for everybody. That's why we don't. I don't want Vandy coming in.
This thing was a snoozer midway through the second, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I don't want Vandy coming here to roll Vandy by 50. I don't want to talk about Kent State for 45 minutes. This is what I like. This is what gets me going as a fan. I like the competition. I want to play the best teams. Like that's why. And I'm not going to harp on this.
Hey, shouts out to the Tennessee folk doing like R&R for us. Last time Sanford was rushed was in '99. How about that?
He said Samford. He said that like 4 times, and he said Sanford like 4 of the 2 times.
2 of the 4.
It's tough.
Anyways,
you want to put an M, you want to put an S or a T in there. Sometimes, man, it's tough. You know, English.
He got on somebody's hotspot to find that.
Probably.
That's my thing. Playoff expansion is going to ruin games like this. That's all I got to say about it.
Definitely, no doubt. No doubt.
The fact that people can't comprehend that. Here's the prediction. I'm quit beating around the bush. Jake, you've talked about this. You've said it's a great competition, and this is what we live for. We live for these battles. Unfortunately, the game is not going to match the talk. The game is not going to live up to the hype. Dawgs,
I don't think it's going to be as high scoring as people think.
Dawgs 49, Tennessee 24. An absolute beatdown. Dawgs control the game the entire time. They do exactly what they want to do. They score however they want to score. And when Tennessee gets down, you talked about it, Brooks, you reverse the pressure on them. They don't want to dink and dunk down the field. They want to hit the big play. They are giddy for the big play. Force them in a spot where they feel like they need to make it, and we will turn them over 49-24 Dawgs.
That's what we need.
That was along the lines of mine, but I'm gonna go Georgia 56, Tennessee 19.
Wow. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, lots of field goals. Men don't break.
That's got to be a scoregami.
56-19. Where did you come from? Where did you pull that out of?
My other score was around Coles, and I wanted to do something different, so that's what I came up with.
Just say I'm going to do something different next time, but just say some crazy ass shit.
I already won 38-20, and it's only going to get to 20 because they're going to get a garbage time score.
All right. So I opened the show with a mega rant that I've been just cultivating and building up all week. I mean, just good Lord, man. If you just put it into a box and you just said Team X, Team Y, and TZ, again, these teams put up this many points per game, this many yards per play, this many yards per game. They have this much time per possession. They do all of these things offensively. If you just put all their raw data stats into a box, teams would be salivating at the University of Georgia offense. Yet when it comes to football games like this, the number one question that Kirby Smart has to answer every single time is, can you win a shootout? If the other team scores 42 points, can you win a shootout? He's never really had to answer the question. He's only had to answer the question in the Rose Bowl just that once. The other couple of times he's faulted, right? LSU in 2019, he faulted. When things got ugly in the SEC championship game, when score and points were at a premium and when they were getting scored quickly, they faulted. This offense is different. This offense definitely is different, and they have scored efficiently all year long. I do think it is a tough matchup from what Tennessee does defensively. They line up, they stack the box, so you're going to have to win outside. I trust this offensive coordinator staff to dial up some pressures, dial up some shots. Most importantly, I trust this defensive staff to stack 3 and outs. 44-35, Georgia wins.
Here's one last thing I wanted to say. There's something I've been seeing floated around a lot. Kirby Smart's 1-9 whenever he gives up 30 points. Okay, well, there's a few things you're brushing over here. Number one, I think only one of those was a home game. That was Bama in 2015 or 2016, right? It may not even. I think only one of those was a home game. Number two, that's 10 times, and he's been a coach for 6-7 years.
Yeah,
that's pretty good. That's a pretty good track record. And people are also failing to realize that whenever Georgia scores 30 points, they're 53-1.
Also, what coach has a good winning record when he gives up 30?
I got one. I got one more for you that I want to give you guys before we leave. There are 3 teams in 21 football games to hold the University of Tennessee under 100 yards rushing under Heupel. Do you know that? It's Pitt this year, 97 yards. That was a fist fight for 4 quarters. It looked like Tennessee was going to wet the bed.
We didn't even get to talk about that game.
That's a vaunted big time win for Tennessee.
They got after that ass. And you know what? They got after that ass with a 5-man box. They had a tremendous game plan. They just didn't have the dudes to last 4. All right. 2021, 65 yards rushing on 2.8 yards per carry. Alabama. They got thumped. All right. 2021, University of Georgia goes into Neyland. Holds them 55 yards rushing, 2.3 yards per carry. Got them thumped. Scored 17 points per game. If you can hold up in the run against this football team, you can limit them, period. Guys, do you know who's led the SEC in rushing yards allowed per game for the last 4 seasons?
Vanderbilt.
No, sir. The University of Georgia. And they've done it in staggering fashion. If you can stop the run with a light box, you can make that dude hold the football, and you can turn him over, and you can make them punt. I like the Dogs here, but it's going to be tough. This is a good football team, guys.
No doubt. They are good.
But there's too many things.
They're good. They're good.
The other team
We're talking a lot of trash. Tennessee has a very good offense.
And this is all fun for us. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, we're poking fun at Tennessee. Like, this is just part of – this is what we do. We're a homer show. Like, we're hyping up this game. I'm excited. This is.
Well, I genuinely do hate Tennessee. I want that.
No, I genuinely do.
Guys, I hope they keep it within 2 scores so we can have 3 SEC teams in the playoff and you can fuck off with the ACC.
I don't.
That's what I hope.
If it was 45-0, I would be leaving that stadium. Just probably wouldn't have a voice. Rocket time.
I'm changing my prediction, by the way.
SEC team in the playoff.
Okay, Cole, let's hear it.
I'm changing my offensive prediction. Number 11 taking the top off this defense. This is the game. This is the game.
Number 11.
Love it.
Number 11 taking.
How many top 25 teams has Georgia beat this year? Well, Tennessee claims that Florida's still a top 25
We just
team.
got one.
Carolina had a top 25 run last week. How about that apple?
Count South Carolina, count Florida.
Count anyone who's ever been ranked in the history of their program like Tennessee does, and we probably got them all.
Pitt was like 17th when they beat them. We got to count Pitt too, even though I think they've lost 3 or 4 games or something like that.
They're 4-4.
Oh, okay. Well, no, we got to count them. They were top 25. They were top 25 team.
Can we end it on this? Because I know you guys love this guy. How much of a poverty program do you have to be for Jake Fromm to troll you?
Oh no!
You spoke Griff's language.
Good old
Talk to me. Oh my gosh! You have to be trashed.
All right, boys. Y'all got anything? Any final thoughts?
I hate Tennessee. I want that on record. Like,
the hell with the volunteer. That's all I got to say about it.
Y'all saying all this
glory,
trash
baby.
talk and all that stuff that comes straight from my heart. So, I want that on the record.
Good work tonight, boys.
We do appreciate y'all being in here, of course. Every single one.
Follow us on Twitter. The work continues. The work continues on Twitter.
You know, maybe everything we say on this podcast will age poorly, but you know what? If you don't ever go out on a limb,
it won't.
You ain't worth you ain't worth your weight in gold.
Yeah. Have a good day. Go Dogs.
Hey James.
Oh, hold on.